Hey everybody, it's Nick Chino with the Y108 Evening Show. You can catch me weeknights from 6:30 to midnight on Y108 and at y108.ca/Nick and vigilantedetective.com. And welcome to my first rock album review of 2018 of the 8th studio album from San Francisco's Black Rebel Motorcycle Club. It's called Wrong Creatures. Now, like I do in all the rock album reviews, I give you a little bit of background on my experiences with the bands that I review, and I do have some history with Black Rebel Motorcycle Club. I've always been a fan of theirs since the early 2000s when they first released their first couple of albums of their dark kind of rock and roll sound. My favorite record from them is from 2005. It's called Howl, which was, I guess, one of their more kind of roots rockier records that they put out. It was one of my favorites from 2005 from that year, and it's really held up for me, so that's definitely my favorite record from Black Rebel Motorcycle Club. But I've really enjoyed their albums that they released since then. I really enjoyed Baby 81, Beat the Devil's Tattoo, and Spectre at the Feast, which was their last studio record from 2013. So yes, I am a fan of Black Rebel Motorcycle Club, and this is the first big rock release of 2018. Usually we have to wait a couple of months for a big rock album, but Black Rebel have blessed us with a new album from 2018. And you know what? Let's talk about this record, Wrong Creatures from Black Rebel Motorcycle Club. Now, we open this record with a song called DFF. It's kind of like an instrumental track with some harmonies and some weird vocals here and there, and it's cool. It's got a creepy kind of sound. But my first complaint about this opening track is that it doesn't really go anywhere. I think if you're going to do an instrumental track to kick off your record, you really want it to be something that progresses into the rest of the album, especially into track 2 and the rest of the record. And you know what? I kind of like the instrumental, but it didn't really do anything for me. And I think they should have started out the record with another song. But that being said, it does pick up from there with a song called Spook. It's a guitar track that's just, it's pure Black Rebel Motorcycle Club. After the kind of experimental first track, they get right down to business with the dirty guitars and the edgy vocals. And I think one of the things I enjoy most about Black Rebel Motorcycle Club is that you can dance to them as well. Even though the band does have a bluesy kind of rock sound, they're still a band that you can shake your ass to. From there, the band moves on to songs like Haunt, which is a really, like kind of a staple Black Rebel blues song. And you know what? They're a band that keeps the blues alive. They don't do it in a traditional sense, but they definitely have that as a key element to their music. And I think one of my favorite things about the sound of Black Rebel Motorcycle Club is the bass playing of Robert Levon Bean. He's just a key element of their sound. And there's another song on this record called Echo, which is kind of centered around the bass. And I really, really love that song. And it's definitely a highlight on this record for me. Now, in comparison to their last record called Spectre at the Feast in 2013, I absolutely love that record. Songs like As the Day Begins, I love that song. Hate the Taste, Arrival, a lot of really good songs on this record. And upon first listen to Wrong Creatures, I found the melodies on this record to be a little bit more subdued. They didn't really stand out to me as much as the melodies and the songs on the last record. That's not a knock on the record, that's just my first listen. Obviously, if I listen to the album more, and I will, there will be more melodies that stand out to me. But on first listen, there wasn't a lot that stood out to me in terms of catchy songs. Ninth Configuration is another song that I like on this record. It starts out kind of slow and then builds up to maybe one of the best rock outs on this album, because Black Rebel is obviously capable of some epic rock outs in their history. There's a song called Circus Bazooko. Did I say that right? It does have a circus kind of sound to it. It's kind of a late in the album gem. It's kind of surprising and kind of picks things up as we get to the end of the record. But in terms of the other songs and the songs that I thought were highlights on this record, King of Bones, Echo, like I mentioned, Ninth Configuration, Little Thing Gone Wild, Circus Bazooko, like I just mentioned as well. Overall, I think it's a good record, but it's just a little bit too standard Black Rebel Motorcycle Club for me. Now, I know, the band doesn't need to reinvent their wheel. This is their 8th studio album. They can do what they want. They can write the songs that they want, and they are true artists, a true rock and roll band in every sense of the word. I love these guys, but it did feel a little bit stale to me. It's a long album, songs approaching 6-7 minutes, which again, I'm not complaining about. I can handle 6 and 7 minute long songs, but some of them didn't really go anywhere. There should be a little bit more of a progression in the songs, and I felt they were just a little bit too stale. And overall, I kind of wish this album just rocked a little bit more. I seem to be in a very rock-out kind of mode, lately. Over the last couple of years, I really like to listen to rock albums that have a little bit more energy. And this one's a little bit more subdued for my taste, but it's still a great record. I just wish they rocked out a little bit more. And as I said, it gets a little bit long in the second side, songs that are approaching 5, 6, 7 minutes, which makes it a little bit of a long listen towards the end. I found my attention span kind of waning a little bit. I know that's kind of the way that things work now. People can't listen to full records. I thought this was a great record front to back. It just kind of lost a little bit of the energy in the second side. Overall, I think Black Rebel Motorcycle Club succeeds with Wrong Creatures with just being great mood music. They've always been the kind of band, I usually say you can listen to bands on nighttime drives, but that's kind of how I gauge a lot of records. Can you drive around a city listening to it and feel the vibe of the record? And I think the more I listen to this record, the more I'm going to get into the vibe and the more that I'm going to, kind of get into the songs and that it's going to appeal to me. And overall, I think it's great mood music. Overall, I don't rate this record as highly as some of Black Rebel's past records. I think it's an enjoyable listen, but it just didn't stand out to me as much as Spectre at the Feast or Howl or Baby 81. So I'm going to give Wrong Creatures, the 8th studio album from Black Rebel Motorcycle Club, a 5 out of 10. That is it for my review, guys, of the new record from Black Rebel Motorcycle Club called Wrong Creatures. Let me know what you think of the record in the comments below. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel and share the video. Let them know if you're Black Rebel fans or just rock fans in general to come out and check out the channel. Follow me on Twitter and on social media, Facebook, Instagram, at The Walking Nick. Check out the blogs, thewibandaway.ca/Nick and vigilantedetective.com. And we'll see you guys again in the next rock album review. This is Chino, out.